Congress is spending too much. Both sides of the aisle talk about fiscal restraint and fiscal discipline, yet we keep spending more than we have. This government took in $2.1 trillion in revenues this year, yet we spent $3.5 trillion in expenditures. And we are spending $700 million a day to pay the interest on the debt, and we're funding transportation museums. If we would have just stayed at the spending level from last year and cut out these extraneous programs, congratulatory signs that tell us that we built a road, transportation museums, and other spending programs that amendments that were offered sought to cut but did not pass, we would have saved $12.7 billion. Now in Washington, $12.7 billion doesn't sound like a lot of money. We talk about trillions of dollars here. But $12.7 billion could have done a lot of good. What could we have spent that money on? I think, Mr. President, it's important to realize that every time we spend a dollar, we're making a choice. It's a choice about how we're going to direct this country's future. High-speed rail is such a national-sized project, in my opinion, that the role of the federal government is there. And it makes sense in this difficult economic time because you actually will create thousands of jobs by building the high-speed rail. And then once you've built it, you will have a long-term gain because that high-speed rail will be there to promote infrastructure, to promote jobs, to ease the burdens on our everyday lives. So I applaud that program. And there's $8 billion in the federal budget this year that states can apply for to build high-speed rail. My state of Florida has an application in along with 40 other states. And we're seeking $2.5 billion to connect Orlando to Tampa, which would be fantastic for our state, and I hope that our state gets those dollars. But there's only $8 billion to apply for, and there's 40 states that want the money. Imagine if we would have taken the $12.7 billion that we wasted here and put it into that program. Maybe more states could have had high-speed rail. You know, I guess all of us wish we were in the situation the federal government was in, where we could just spend more than we got in terms of income and then never have to pay it back. But the truth is the federal government's not in that situation either. One day, the chickens are going to come home to roost. One day, we're going to be accountable for this money that we spent. One day, it's going to impact our standing in the world. And I believe that day is very soon. Yesterday at Fort Hood, I know I share the feelings of all Americans who are deeply saddened by the events of yesterday. And our thoughts and prayers go out to the families of the young men and women who were lost and who were injured in the tragic situation that occurred yesterday. I also want to take an opportunity to add words of appreciation for the first responders and the medical professionals who helped these men and women who were injured yesterday. It's heroes helping heroes that really shows America at its best.